Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is a Mindful Hour MBSR. My name is Kat Larsen. Great to see everyone. This is pre-recorded content for the Chakras, the energy center, a tool today which we'll utilize for our MBSR Mindful Hour today. Class sponsored by the Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine. And some resources for the Cancer Resource Center are the website is www.crcofwm.org. If you're on social media or online, there is a Facebook page, the Cancer Resource Center. And also, if you're on YouTube, if you check out YouTube videos, the Cancer Resource Center, in addition, has their own YouTube channel, which includes classes by some leaders, facilitators. I know I have a few classes on there as well. So those are videos that you can watch over and over again. And welcome to everyone today. And as you're settling into your seat today, the theme again, as mentioned, are the chakras, which are the energy centers. Before we begin, I invite you to gather your favorite beverage to support your hour time here in session. If you'd like to take notes, feel free to take some notes, a piece of paper or a journal. In class, you can either stay seated on a chair, pillow, cushion, or even comfortable in bed. This class today offers you an opportunity, according to MBSR, connect to practices that might offer you more focus, more awareness to help to meet your ways of living, being, and doing to live mindfully. The founder of MBSR, Dr. John Kabat-Zinn, created MBSR way back in 1979 as a tool to offer oneself meditation. Some of the tools that MBSR utilizes is movement, yoga, qigong, walking meditation, also somatic practices, body scan meditations. In addition, PowerPoint lectures, breath work, bringing awareness to ways that we move throughout the world, and also connecting to awareness and focus that might give us new practices, new tools to meet everyday living, the ebbs and flows of life. If you're living or managing a cancer diagnosis or any other condition that is offering you that sense of being unsettled, that how can we meet the ebbs and flows, the challenges and difficulties with more balance and ease. Today we have a requested presentation of the chakras, which chakras are called energy centers. So that it does include a lengthy PowerPoint. So settle into your seat. And before we begin our class, we often conduct what is called a mindful share, pass, or listen, that if we had live online class, we would actually, to those practitioners online, and thank you so much for being here. And I do miss being with you live, yet we'll also offer ourselves just a moment here as to notice how you're feeling today. How are you feeling in the physical body, in mind states, also energy, and honoring all parts of our being. If you walk away after today's hour-long presentation with some new insight as to maybe a new practice that might help to calm, to soothe, to bring awareness into an energy center or a body part, maybe a hand gesture that when you're frazzled or anxious or low energy, lethargy, melancholy, that might help you to uplift. Those are what the energy centers do for us. They bring awareness to parts of the body that might need grounding, balancing, settling, openness, energy, tamping down, and all of that. So I'll begin with our mindful share, pass, or listen. We often share what we're drinking today. And if you're watching the recording, simply lifting your glass, your bottle of water. And I'm drinking today out of a straw just so I can combat any of the darker fluid on my teeth. So today I'm drinking green tea. So I'm drinking a little bit of a different beverage today. And also inviting for ourselves, just noticing and focus and awareness. How do we feel? Do we have low energy, medium energy, or high energy? And that will dictate whether or not we need to build energy or calm energy. If we're way up here, lively energy, we may need to meet that energy and balance. If we're low energy, we may need to build that slowly and then come into balance. So, asking yourself with any practices in mindfulness, movement, walking, nature, stretching, first asking ourselves, do we have a meditation practice? And a meditation practice can be simply defined as coming to a seated position, taking a pause, maybe with breath, and inviting stillness anywhere from 30 seconds to 1 minute or longer. So, in my mindful share, pass, or listen, I do have a steady meditation practice where I sit anywhere from, it could be as little, for me, I've been practicing meditation close to 25 years. So I could sit as little as 15 minutes a day to maybe even more than 1 hour. Today I had a lot to do. And so thus I sat for about 20 minutes. Sometimes I sit with an open eye gaze or closed eye gaze, and notice for yourself that when we drop our eye gaze down, it's an opportunity to move inside. Depending upon how one feels, one may not be in the position to close one's eyes. So when we sit down to our seat to begin a meditation, we use the acronym called STOP, which S stands for stop. Simply notice your energy, your structure, your body. T stands for T, take a breath in and a breath out. And O stands for observe, to how you feel. What do you need next? Do you need a stretch, a sip of your beverage? And P stands for proceed to what you need next. So thus we'll all take a breath in together. Inhale and exhale. So offering the mindful share, pass, or listen, noting as we offer ourselves a share in meeting and community, connection, and friendship for furthering our learning and our practice and meeting here. What are you drinking today? How do you feel? What practices did you invite for yourself today? Or if you're new to the practice, something new. What is it that stood out to you? What is your go-to? Is it movement? Is it sitting? Is it pausing? I notice for myself in a mindful share practice, I'm feeling a lot, noting that I have a full plate, that I need to give myself some time to sit, to gather and pause. Thus, that's a perfect opportunity for meditation. So again, mindfulness, we invite practices that help to bring more focus, more awareness into our daily living. And if that's simply receiving today a new PowerPoint teaching today, and I hope that you can see the introduction to the chakras today on the screen. And let me just come back to the Zoom room and see if I can share the screen. Fantastic. So I want to be up there in the screen as well. And I'm going to offer today a full slideshow of introduction to the chakras. So you'll hear my voice and you'll see the PowerPoint in presentation. So I'm hoping you'll see that introduction to the chakras. And as we continue, just going over the basic definitions of energy centers here. And so the chakras are defined, if you will, as a wheel, a vortex, and a convergence of energy center. And what's important to note are that there are 72,000 energy centers in the body. So noting upon if you have a cancer diagnosis and if you're feeling side effects of any medication, of chemo, radiation, or anything else, or any other condition which maybe you're working or managing, that maybe perhaps we're not feeling the physical energy, but noting that it's always present. In chakras, the 7 main energy centers are called the chakras. And I do want to say, in all candor and honesty, there's only one awareness, and that's to our openness that energy centers exist. I'm offering today the 7 main energy tools, but this is just one example of many that exist out there, where we often in meditation and yoga speak of just the 7, but as academics and scholars remind us of, there are many more than the 7 energy center teaching. So way back thousands of years ago, the meditation points were known simply for meditation. They were looked at in their historical reference as elements of nature, and that the sound, color, body part in more of the modern teaching that was created thousands of years after the meditation point teaching. So the chakras are noted in the subtle body, which is considered the energetic body, and they're considered breath work, life force, their energy that moves throughout our system. They're known to start at the bottom of the spine and they move up. In the 7 energy center, we can look at first, we have the base of the spine, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. The third bullet point gives the names of the energy centers in Sanskrit. What's really important to know is just that they start at the base of the spine, moving all the way up to the crown of the head. In the 7 energy model, they'll start from the base up. And again, what's important is that being aware of your energy, and where your energy flows, your focus goes. So perhaps if you're experiencing low back pain, one's focus and awareness might be stuck there. If you're working with digestive issues, issues that you're managing or living in the stomach, perhaps there. Maybe emotional issues in the heart, your awareness could be there. If you're going through change, the throat chakra, and you're working with communication and speaking one's truth, and maybe here, and personality changes might be at the solar plexus, at the abdomen, and totality may begin at the crown chakra. If we're connecting more to insight, more of connecting to our inner wisdom, maybe in the throat, in the third eye area, releasing tension in the brain and focusing on letting go. So through our 7 energy model, it gives us awareness from the base of the spine up. And that's a lot of energy centers just in that portion of the physical being, right? So simply being open to awareness that there's energy flowing in that region of the body, yet there are 72,000 energy centers. Just to show you a little bit of history, again, of the chakras, they originated way back in BC 1500 to 500. They were first referenced again in the yogic text called the Vedas, then more specifically in one of the yogic textbooks called the Upanishads. And as I mentioned, the 4th bullet point, that there are multiple systems of the chakras, and today we're looking at the 7 model. And again, if you look at the quotes again, way back in the day, the chakras were considered wheels or meditation points that within resemble discs of energy or flowers Maybe you can see the various petals. And those points were where the energy centers converged or met. Now, as we begin, we're going to start at the spine. So the chakras, when referenced from a teaching perspective, are referenced from the bottom up. So as we begin with chakra number 1, that would be the root chakra. The Sanskrit word is Muladhara. The color of the PowerPoint in the background is going to show the color, the more modern teaching, what corresponds, and that's red. Way back in the day of historical context, we looked at the chakra again, connecting to the element of earth. So when we look at the element of the root chakra, it's based upon grounding. The mantra or the sound with each energy center, and each one has a tone. Here in root is lam. And this root chakra connects to the physical body. We utilize the words grounded, support, connected, rooted. This is where, if we need that stability going through the ebbs and flows of life, we want to connect to the root chakra. It's located at the base of the spine, the perineum, at the sit bones, at the buttocks. If we were seated on the chair, we would press our sit bones into the earth. And mudra means hand gesture. So I invite you to lift your hands, make gentle fists, and touch the pinkies. This is the hand gesture of root chakra number 1. I invite you to rest this hand gesture in your lap, and we'll invite for rooting and grounding today a little bit of the out breath. So we'll take a breath in and we'll exhale the tone lam, inviting rooting and grounding in any parts of your daily life. Who does not need to feel supported, grounded, connected, and rooted? This is a practice as well. So you can take your hand gesture, invite a breath in, and exhale the tone lam anywhere from 3 to 6 times. I invite you to find your eye gaze either down or either soft, closed eyes or partially opened or closed eyes. And we'll repeat the tone lam on the out breath 6 times. Breathe in. Lam. Breathe in. Lam. And if you're working on a part of the body that's healing, I invite you to send your breath out, the tone, because you are exhaling, sending the healing tone to any part of your body that needs your energy of the out breath. Inhale. 3 more. Breathe in. And you can take the out breath silently or with the tone. Inhale. Last one. Sitting for a moment, receiving the grounding tone of lam, noting that this is a tool to be connected, supported, inviting that steadiness both on and off the cushion. As you're opening the eyes, keeping in mind that you can focus on one energy center once a week. If you start your day coming to your chair, taking maybe 3 breaths in and out with the tone of lam, inviting your day to start in being supported, grounded, connected. If you look back at the PowerPoint, some of the asanas, which are shapes, movements in yoga, tree pose. Garland pose is a variation of tree. Easy pose is comfortable cross-legged, and then a forward bend. These would be some of the poses where we're connected to the earth, either through our feet or our seat. So that is chakra number 1, the root chakra, representative for the teaching of wanting for either physical body, emotional body, energetic space, wanting grounding, support, stability, maintaining that sense of I am rooted and grounded. Now, as we look at second chakra, seeing the color represented on the slide, that is the color orange. Each symbol is the symbol of the flower corresponding to, or the petal corresponding to each chakra. Sacral chakra, the word for the title of the sacral chakra, number 2, is called Swadhisthana in Sanskrit. Here it's representative by the element water. The mantra is VAM. Mantra means sound, affirmation, VAM. And the kosha means in the third bullet point, the layer of being, the part of our body that it's representative of. Pranayama is the breath body, the energetic body. And note that the sacral chakra, when we imagine swaying the hips from side to side or a swirling action, that's like a hula hoop action. Imagine the words creativity, fluidity, empathy, releasing tension, and that passion, that movement that we feel in the spine. The hand gesture is Asta Mudra. So as you're lifting your hands, number 2, making fists, and this connection, we're touching our ring finger together. We're relaxing that hand gesture located right at the hips, so your hands can rest right at the hips, and the tone is VAM. So if you're wanting more fluidity, if you're feeling stuck, you're wanting more empathy, more self-care, you're wanting more passion, if you're ever feeling in a rut, if you're working with maybe a transition of ending a relationship, whatever that may be in connection, or if you're in a rut of wanting to invite more creativity, of maybe wanting a new passion or a hobby, this is your chakra. So we'll tone just 3 times this time the mantra VAM, and send that to any part of your being, physical body, maybe emotional body, energetic, heart space, if this connects to maybe you're inventing what is your new hobby or passion to be. We'll exhale the tone VAM 3 times. Inhale. VAM. Inhale. VAM. Third. VAM. Return to your own rhythm of breath and sitting for a few moments to simply receive the energy of creativity, fluidity, fluid motion, moving forward, being present, opening up, blossoming midwinter, moving towards blossoming of spring, new passions, new ideas. As you open the eyes, coming back to the screen, the movement shapes or asanas or goddess pose, reverse warrior, wide-legged forward fold, reclined bound angle where the soles of the feet together, or sphinx pose where we open our heart but we're resting on our hips. So we're bringing awareness to that folding, that closing of the hips, opening up. So hip openers and movements are very popular for the sacral chakra. So that is chakra energy center number 2. And notice for yourself that your awareness might change in time to what's happening in your life as to what chakra comes into play with your focus and awareness. Here we move to chakra number 3 at the solar plexus, which is right in the area, right in front of the abdomen, right in front of the belly. The color is yellow. Note the diagram, the picture of the petal of what the solar plexus in Sanskrit called the Manipura, chakra number 3, looks like. This is dominated by the element of fire. So here we talk about self-esteem, strength, power, courage, self-insurance, maybe new beginnings for you, a new path, new transition. Last week we talked about spring cleaning. What is it that you want to welcome, open up to with spring? What are you creating space for? So we're standing in our strength, our power from our first chakra. We're moving with the fluidity, letting go of that tension. But here we get an opportunity that perhaps if there's a new intention, a hobby, a passion, here we actually do the work for that. We can see it happening where we build the strength, the power, the courage to create a new identity, to create a new habit pattern, even if it's waking up and giving ourselves the hand gesture with 3 counts of the breath with our mantra for 3 breaths. That is a practice of well-being. So it could begin with that. Here the mantra is rum. So can you hear that? Inhale, exhale, rum. Hear the strength, hear the power. Embody your strength in all parts of your being, physical body. If you're working with a cancer diagnosis, living or managing a condition, the will, the strength you have to go in and day out in treatment, if you're in treatment, the will you have to do to sit up, to stand, to walk, to do our chores, to do our activities of daily living, to get through and do what we have to do, to follow our calendar, our to-do list. This corresponds with the solar plexus. This also dominates the emotional body. So here we get empowered by moving the body, by strengthening the body, by inviting the rum, the strengthening tone that gives us the strength to move one breath at a time, one step at a time. The hand gesture is Asta Mudra number 3. So holding the hands, making fists, but touching the middle fingers together, fingers tipping and pointing. Here we get to hover that gesture right in front of the abdomen. The tone here is rum. So exhaling a tone of strength and really embody your strength. Note that you're here, you're present. We're here meeting in community for learning, for well-being. So we'll recite that 3 times, a strong rum on the out breath. Breathe in. Rum. Or a shortened exhale, a strengthening rum like a growl. Find which resonates for you. Breathe in. Rum. Feeling and hearing your own strength reverberate through you. One more time, your rum of choice. Breathe in. Rum. Lowering the hands, simply receiving for about 30 seconds the strength of your own being, Notice how we're moving up the body, moving towards the more emotional clearing, the more emotional awareness of the heart, the throat, those organs of perception, lifting any heaviness, and noting our strength. As you open the eyes, looking at the last bullet point on the screen, the asanas, which mean poses, shapes, or boat pose, a twisted pose where you're turning from the abdomen, you're turning from the navel, up through the ribs, up through the heart. You're feeling your long length and strength. You're feeling your regality, your tall spine. Cobra pose. As you press your hands into the earth, you're opening your heart with a rum, rum, rum. Boat pose is where you sit on your buttocks, extend the legs long, maybe lifting one leg or both legs. That's core strength. So your core shapes, your core movements are going to come from the energy center of the solar plexus. So note how you feel as you're moving up the spine, already 3 chakra energy centers in the 7 chakra model. The next, heart chakra. Note the color dominated by the color green, and the visual, the image of the heart chakra is depicted on the screen as well, and representative of the air, noting that expansive, growing, open heart. The tone is yum, yum. Open by the emotional body, the heart center. Some words, affirmations that come to mind are self-love, love to others, self-compassion, compassion to other, joy, being joy, lightness of being, spreading joy, forgiveness, forgiveness to ourselves, forgiveness to others, empathy, opening up to others, unity, connection, integration. Some of the poses are high and low lunge, dancer pose where you open up the heart, arms back, opening up the heart center. In a high lunge, you're lifting the arms up and you're extending the heart center open, extending it from oneself to another. The hand gesture is called dove, in Sanskrit called kapota mudra. That's the word for dove in Sanskrit, where we bring our hands in front of the heart. The fingertips stay touching, the palms stay touching, but we open up the other hand slightly like a bodice, if you will, of a dove bird, and the thumbs hover right in front of the heart. The tone is yum, extending and emphasizing the Y and the M, extending, thinking of some of the words love, compassion, joy, forgiveness, empathy, and unity. 3 times sending our love throughout ourselves and our being, permeating ourselves with that healing tone of yum. Inhale. Notice eye gaze can be down or closed to move inward for a deeper experience. Your choice. 2 times. One more. Breathe in. Lowering the hands, palms up, taking a moment of silence. Inviting the effects of the toning of yum to penetrate and move throughout our physical and energetic being, providing the healing effect of our exhale, moving throughout our physical body and mind states. Opening the eyes and notice how you feel. That's a very soothing mantra as well, yum. So anytime you need a little bit of self-compassion, self-love, a little bit of forgiveness if you're going through a difficult time, this is a wonderful mantra that will help to uplift. It'll help to self-soothe as well. Hands can even be stacked flat on the heart if that meets you with a gentle hug, or simply coming into your dove mudra once again at the heart. Wonderful healing tone of the heart chakra. In Sanskrit, the heart chakra is called Anahata in Sanskrit. So before we move to the next few chakras, notice how this information is connecting to you. Again, as I mentioned, that maybe one chakra might be your connecting point for either a day, a week, a month, months to come, depending upon what you're working with in the physical body, the emotional states, also the energetic states. Maybe you take the complete 7 chakras and you move through all of those. You can write down each tone and you can say lum, bum, rum, yum, and repeat 7 of the tones 3 to 6 times, as well as a chakra balancing practice as well for you. So here we go. We're moving on to chakra number 5. So we're moving up the body from the heart to the throat. With that, I'm going to get a little sip of beverage. Feel free to take a sip of your favorite beverage. And continuing our PowerPoint presentation of the throat chakra, the word for the throat in Sanskrit is called Vishuddha. The color is blue. And the petal is what is shown on the imagery, connecting to ether, space. So as we focus on communication, listening, we're opening up to the space around us, being open with open ears, open organs of perception. The mantra, it's more guttural in the back. It's hum, hum. So it's more of a ha back from the back of the throat. The particular area within the body connects to the Vijnanamaya kosha. That's a Sanskrit word for the particular sheath or layer of being connecting to the wisdom body, the mind, the intellect. What are we moving towards? What are we experiencing? Perhaps if you're in a new job, a new situation, a new relationship, or even ending as well. Are you finally connecting to your path, your purpose? Maybe you're in a new hobby, a new place, maybe a new domicile, a new dwelling. And also if you're shedding as well, if you're getting rid of stuff, even in your dwelling, and you finally have space to truly be, move, think, and be who you are in the world. And some of the words that come to mind in our throat chakra are communication, listening, knowing, speaking one's truth. If you're a quieter person and you prefer to listen, and you have been listening, now maybe it's your time to communicate. So we play with both of the organs of perception of the tongue, speaking of the mouth, hearing, listening as well. The mudra here is lotus, which in Sanskrit is called Padma. And some of the shapes within this are cat-cow pose, looking forward on the inhale, exhale, opening up the throat, shoulder stand, where we're opening up the throat area. Fish pose is a back bend, and plow pose. So it's opening up the entire cervical spine all the way up to perhaps our mouth and speech. We'll be sharing in the toning of hum, 3 times, connecting to our wisdom body. Are we working on mindful listening in conversation with others? Are we working on speaking our truth? Maybe we've cleared out, done some of that spring cleaning, and we can notice the ether in the space within our domicile or our surroundings. So the hand gesture is lotus. When you come to prayer position, keep the pinky and the thumb touching. Fan the other fingers open like a beautiful lotus flower. And we'll hover that gesture right in front of our throat. The tone is hum. And we'll exhale that 3 times. Inhale, hum. And the toning will inform your eye gaze, open, down, or partially open or closed. Inhale, hum. Inhale, hum. Inviting the hands to rest, receiving for a few moments the effects of the throat chakra. And when you're ready, slowly opening up the eyes and noting the effects of your throat chakra, chakra number 5. As we move up the body, 2 more remaining within the 7 model energy center. The next would be the 6th chakra, the third eye in Sanskrit, Ajna, dominated by the color purple or indigo. The image is on the screen. Element is ether, space, internal space within the brain, the mind, body, internal, our intuition, but also keeping that awareness beyond the physical body. The mantra or affirmation is Om, which is peace, located in the Anandamaya kosha, which means in the bliss body, joy. And bliss body might simply be a moment of quiet, a moment of peace. If you're busy, if you have anxiety, if you're worried, if you're going through difficult times, the ebbs and flow of a healing process, it could be simply a moment of peace without pain, without worry. That could be your bliss body. The location is right at the third eye, the center between the eyebrow. And here we connect to that inner peace. If we're working with a cancer diagnosis, perhaps on the healing journey, if you're going through treatment, that point where if you're in treatment with breath work, the point of being still, connecting to that movement of your flow of breath as a teaching for calm, tranquility, quietness. Some of the words that might come to mind as you move within whatever is happening in your life, maybe a new dwelling, more space, healing from a physical condition, our wisdom, intuition, inner knowing, clarity, discernment, moving into that place of all knowing or inner knowing that things will be okay, that I'm okay as well. Kali Mudra is a hand gesture where we interlace our hands and we extend the index fingers, but here they hover simply at the third eye. So from this, we actually turn the fingers forward, kind of like the Charlie's Angels, like we're pointing forward. And we rest the hands just hovering in front of our third eye with the sound Om, peace. We'll say that 3 times on the out breath. If this is not comfortable for you, you can also come to prayer with the thumbs resting at the third eye. That's also a variation. So find what meets you, either index fingers, elbows lifted, if that's too much, prayer position, hands, thumbs resting at the third eye, or at a comfortable position, always offering yourself modifications. Taking your hand positioning, inhale. Om. Om. One more. Breathe in. Exhale. Om. Lowering the chest. And draw your attention to that space between the eyebrows of the third eye. Feel the inner knowing, the groundedness, the intuition, the wisdom that simply, I'm okay. I will be okay. Taking one breath at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. As you open the eyes, simply notice as well the final bullet point, that downward dog from a wall or a mat, lotus position, comfortable cross-legged child's pose, or maybe even resting your hands down with the brow point resting, resting the brain, giving the brain a break as well, and connecting and trusting that the path that you're on, that your intention is aligned with what you're doing now, even being present here for practices of well being. You're feeding that part of yourself with practices of healing and well being, creating that imprint and ritual. So here we go. We are at our final in the seventh chakra model, the crown chakra. Looking at the screen, you see the gorgeous image depicted of the seventh chakra called the crown chakra, in Sanskrit Sahasra. This can be depicted in a few different colors or shades: white, rose, pink. And the element is beyond the elements. If you've ever felt complete relaxation where there's no thought, or maybe in the yoga zone, or in the yoga nidra, or the meditation, or where the body, if you've ever had a spa or a bath or a shower or a massage, or maybe just lying on the couch and there's time for you, or sitting in a chair or in a bed without being prodded or voices or noise, where there's no noise, there's simply silence. There is, though, a vocal tone, om or ng, where the tongue rests at the roof of the mouth. That's on the out breath, where we inhale, bringing the tongue to the roof, exhale ng, which sounds like this. Or simply sitting in silence. Anytime we have a practice or tone, and the body and the emotional body and the energetic state wants to stay there, that's the point where you're in. You're in the zone where you're in that point of something greater than oneself, but it really is ourself wanting either to stay in a downward gaze, eyes closed, or silence. The third bullet point beyond the koshas means that perhaps our awareness, our consciousness is beyond the physical body. It could be in that dream state or that state of silence where there's no thoughts, no chatter, no busyness. So some of the words that come to mind are freedom, Maybe you get a pain-free moment. Maybe liberation, that you finally have that aha moment that, yeah, I'm thinking all the time. I can just stop for a minute. I have a choice to take 3 breaths, to sit, to take a breath in and exhale out with a tone of lum or om, to give myself a minute of well-being. Also, consciousness that if this resonates for you, maybe it's your faith, prayer, a higher divine guiding you. So, again, the hand gesture here could either be hands resting one palm up in the lap, or Kali hand gesture is the interlace with the index fingers above the head. If that is too much, it could be simply palms resting up in the lap, one hand resting, or simply resting on your lap. So today we'll join in on the sound of Om 3 times, and then we'll follow by silence for about 2 minutes. Some of the shapes and poses are headstand, camel, lotus, meditative seat. So in your meditative seat here, I invite you to root and ground. Imagine grounding into the feet or your seat. Imagine your awareness moving from the root chakra, moving up the hips, being fluid, all the way up to the solar plexus, so lengthening up through the heart, shoulders back, openness of the throat, the awareness that we're moving into final practice of the third eye center, being open fully to the practice, the experience. And then here we go, receiving 3 sounds of Om, your choice, Kali Mudra, index extending, arms up overhead, or palms resting up on your lap. 3 breaths in and out with the sound of Om. You can also try NG or silence. Breathe in. Om. I'm going to lower my hands, palms up on the lap with the NG. Inhale. And again, your choice, Om, NG, or simply receiving the sound being silent. Our final inhale and exhale. Inhale. Now receive 3 breaths of silence. First, return to your own rhythm of breath. Eye gaze can be down, heart open, partially opened or closed eyes. Inhale. Exhale, receive your own silence. Breathe in. Inhale. As we sit for a moment, receiving the totality of all 7 parts of our being, the root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and crown chakra. We'll repeat all 7 tones. Just do the best you can 3 times on the out breath. Lum, vum, rum, yum, hum, Om. Inhale. Lam. Lam. Ram. Yum. Hum. Lam. Ram. Yum. Hum. Lam. Vam. Ram. Yam. Hum. Om. Opening the eyes and feel the effects of navigating all 7 chakras. By looking at the PowerPoint again, some of the awarenesses of the chakras today, a lot of information, but this was by popular request as a teaching tool, either using the mantra affirmation by its own individual chakra or pairing them together or all 7, maybe a couple at a time as a meditation tool, a mantra tool, an affirmation tool. You can also utilize the hand gestures or the words that of what one needed, maybe fluidity, rootedness, strength, courage, love, joy, compassion, listening, integration, healing. So here, looking at the PowerPoint, we learn to integrate, embody, and connect through our many teaching tools of the chakras. So again, here we have just a look of all 7 chakras here. And we can look at the root chakra, the tone, and also the mudra for root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. And I'm going to stop that share right now and thank you everyone for this glorious opportunity by popular request to share within mindfulness-based stress reduction breath work as a tool, our inhale and exhale, exhaling out the tone of the 7 energy centers called the chakras for greater awareness, focus, and healing. We utilized as well the elements within nature as well and parts of our being. If you're working with a cancer diagnosis, designating your focus and awareness to a body point, either with just our physical awareness or the exhale being sent to that particular body part. So I want to thank you very much for joining today within a mindful hour, MBSR, our focal point, the energy centers, as a way to inform ourselves for insights for both de-stressing and also adding and strengthening our practice as well. Any information in reference to these classes, times, scheduling, other classes can be found on the Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine website, www.crcofwm.org. And I'd like to thank you so much for being here. And as we close today, inviting everyone to find their comfortable position, whether it be lying down, seated on a chair, cushion, mat, bringing your hands in front of the heart center in prayer position. And we'll close with the word peace one time on the out breath. Peace to oneself and community and connection, and peace to each other on our continued journey, our continued day, meeting and community, connection, learning, and more insights within mindfulness-based stress reduction. Breathe in. Peace. We honor each other in the practice of mindfulness, peace, and namaste. Namaste simply means the practice in me or the presence in me honors the practice and presence in you. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for your requests for content in this pre-recorded session, and wishing you a glorious rest of the day. I appreciate you. Know that I'm with you each day and in spirit as well. And we'll be in recorded sessions the last Thursday in February and the first two Thursdays in March, but these will also be available to you via email. Thank you again for your presence, for your practice, and thank you to the Cancer Resource Center of Western Maine. Giving each other a little gesture. Mine is a hello. Mine's also keeping any boundaries out, keeping any negativity out, and opening up and welcoming all good things happening. Our healing journey, our journey of moving in lightness, joy, and freedom. Have a glorious day. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.